We just had finals for second term, and the school where I teach, all students in music theory have to do core fundamental things timed and keep fluency growing on the basic things: spelling, chords, scales, and reading notes. And they have to do it at a high level or they can't pass the class, in addition to the other things that are unique to each term's curriculum. And that doesn't mean we ever fail anybody for this. They practice this leading up to the final a lot. Almost nobody has to retake it. And the standard for this gets a little faster or a little more difficult, or the application gets a little more complex every term, so they grow there as well. And if for some reason somebody didn't hit a certain benchmark, then they take it again. We mark it, we talk about it, and they take it again. This can stretch into even a day or two after finals if they need to. So these are spelling all the seventh chords that exist, right, in a timed fashion. And because all the students did really well, first time I have all these extra copies that we would have them do reiterations left over. And so I'm going to make a video practicing one set of chords. And so you can watch this along for remedial or to see how we do this at our school. This presumes in here that you already know how to spell the basic chords, like C chords with a seventh are the triads C, E, G, and a B, right? F, A, C, and an E for an F chord, G, B, D, and an F. Like you know that already. You know that major seventh chords have a major triad and a major seventh. Dominant chords have a major triad and a minor seventh, etc. Right? Minor seven chords. And, but the goal here is to get fast at spelling them, and that means you'll get good and fast at recognizing them too. So, today we're going to practice spelling D, E, and A chords in all the different qualities that are there. I'll explain this real quick, and then we'll just go through this, and hopefully this video will be done inside the 10-minute mark. So if you spell a D chord, D, F, A, C, or an E chord, E, G, B, D, or an A chord, A, C, E, G, you have a minor seventh chord to begin with. It has a minor triad for the first three notes, and the seventh is a minor seventh, which is 10 half steps up or 2 half steps down, okay? And what this chart is, the way we conceive of this is, if we wanted to turn these, like say you wanted a D dominant seventh chord, you go over here and you'd say, well, the difference between these two is the third, changing the minor chord into the major chord, the third, okay? And if we're going in this direction, we're raising it, and if we're going in this direction, we're lowering it. So we always remember that minor chords are D, E, and A chords. Drug enforcement agency, it's our solidification thing that we do there, keeping drugs and things away from minors, right? And so here's how we do this. I'm just gonna start with it easy. We're gonna go right to the middle page here, where it's all the minor sevenths. And we're gonna presume that you can spell these notes. So we're just using this chart as a thing here. That means anytime I find an A chord or a D chord or an E chord in any iteration, that they're going to be minor 7 already. So what that means is if I want to spell an A minor 7, I start on A and I go A, C, E, G. There's a physical thing here, so you can see that it's the same all the way across. And if I have a, we're not even going to do B and C, right? We're just going to find D right here. D, F, A, C, D minor 7. E is E, G, B, D. And that's it. Now, we find another one like A flat. I want you to think about this like a guitar. If I had a certain chord shape here for A minor 7, if I wanted to, I just slide the whole thing down, all the frets, all the notes, assuming it's a movable shape, and that would still be a minor 7 chord. So here, if I'm doing A flat minor 7, instead of starting on A, I start on A flat. And since it's already minor 7, I just go all the way across, right? So A flat, C flat, E flat, G flat. Okay, I have a D flat minor 7, means I start on D flat, but since it's already minor 7 as a bass chord, I just go all the way across. E flat minor 7, I start on E flat, and I go all the way across. Now, there exists an A sharp minor 7 and a D sharp minor 7, but not an E sharp minor 7. So that means I start on A sharp, and I go across, just like that. Because just like taking the A minor chord and sliding everything up, and then D sharp minor 7. And if you want to practice this as opposed to just drawing is good because it's a physical way to help you remember this, but then you say it out loud: D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, right? You think of it like everything's the same. That's all those right there. Now, let's make dominants, okay? So if I go over to the page of dominants, and by the way, if you're wondering how they get tested, they have a small amount of time to do each one of these, and they do one page at a time for the test. If you look, the difference between going from minor chords to dominant chords is you're going to mess with the third, and we're going in this direction, we're going to raise the third. So we're going to spell this again. Remember, if it was a minor 7 chord, you'd go all the way across, but here we go: root, raise the third, A, C sharp, E, G, right? We're using the kinesthetic thing of drawing to help remind us this. D chords and E chords are the same. They're minor to begin with, so we go D, raise the third, D, F sharp, A, C, E, G sharp, E, D. Coming over here, A flat, we start down here, and instead of going across, we go A flat, raise the third, so it's C, E flat, and G flat. D flat chord starts on D flat, raise the third, and then back there again, right? D flat, F, A flat, and C flat. You don't get confused. Is this a B or a C flat? It's a C flat because D chords have C's in them, right? Down here at the bottom, we have an A sharp chord. We're going to start here, A sharp, and then we have to raise it. So C double sharp, E sharp, G sharp. D sharp dominant, we have a D sharp. We raise the third to F double sharp, right? A sharp and C sharp. Okay? Good. I hope we're in the key of G sharp minor, which is why we have this, right? E sharp, start there, raise the third, E sharp, G double sharp, B sharp, D sharp. Okay? And let's go do the next one. So what if we wanted major 7 chords? Well, then you have to raise the third, and then to get from the dominant that you've just made, you have to raise the 7th to make the 7th higher as well. Okay? So let's find the major 7th page, and let's do those. Okay? So get used to the shape, get used to the modification. A major 7, we're going to raise the third, and we're going to raise the 7th. A, C sharp, E, G sharp. D major 7, we're going to raise this, raise the third, and then raise the 7th, right? E, right? And remember, we're only doing these ones because they're the ones that start off as minor, okay? So a little practice, we can do this to all of them, but we're trying to remember that these ones start here, and then these are the modifications that we make going in that direction. A flat, well, we start on A flat, we raise the third to C, and then we raise the 7th up there as well, right? D flat, we're gonna start on D flat, raise the third, A flat, raise that to C, right there. E flat, goes E flat, raise the third to G, B flat, and D, right? And then here, it looks like we have no more, because these are not D, E, or A chords, and so those are all the major 7ths that we have there. Let's go in the other direction. We wanna make half diminished 7 chords, minor 7 flat 5s. We're going to take a minor 7 chord and we're going to lower, because we're going in this direction, the 5th. So I'll go over to this page right here, and here's all my half diminished 7s. So I start on the note right there, and remember this time I'm lowering the 5th, right? So A, C, and then E flat, and then G, right? That's the shape, right? So we go to my D chord, D, F, A flat, and C, right? E, G, B flat, and D, right? Doesn't matter if we start on a sharp. It's not confusing to us at all because we're thinking of the pattern. We're going A sharp, C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, but then we lower the 5th by taking away the sharp, right? D sharp half diminished is D sharp, F sharp, lower the 5th to A, C sharp. E sharp half diminished is E sharp, G sharp, lower the 5th to D sharp, right there. And that's it. Okay, that's all of them. How do we get to a fully diminished chord? Well, we're going to lower the 5th on the way over, and then we lower the 7th again, right? Here's my page of diminished. We get some crazy ones here because this is the 7 chord in minor, so sometimes we have double sharps and sharps on notes that we don't normally like. But remember, all we're going to do is we're going to take this chord here, and we're going to lower 5 and 7, right? Lowering 5, lowering 7. So here we go. A, C, E flat, G flat. At first, you're just doing a shape, and then you start to say it out loud as you do it, and then later you can just imagine you're doing this, and say it out loud. D, F, A flat, C flat, right? E, G, B flat, D flat, right? A sharp diminished 7, key of B minor, right? So A sharp, C sharp, and then lower to E and lower to G, right? D sharp, we start here, D sharp, F sharp, lower the 5th, and lower that, right? E sharp, right? G sharp, and then lower this and lower this, right? And then that's it for there. You've spelled all the ones that are possible. Now, like I said, we're at 10 minutes, so we need to stop this, but eventually you just do this in your head, right? So I say, oh, spell me a D diminished chord, D diminished 7. Then you go, well, D, F, A, C. It's minor. I got to lower the 5th and I got to lower the 7th. So D, F, and then you go A flat, C flat. And then later, you could do it at the piano. You go D, F, A, C is my minor 7 chord. And you go D, F, A flat, C flat. And you simultaneously cure yourself from always thinking of C flat as B, right? That's how we do that. I'll make another 10-minute video or shorter because we won't have as much explanation time later doing the C and F chords because they start as major 7s, getting them over to here. And then the G chord, a dominant, that'll be a very short one because it's just one chord, right? Either raising the 7th, lowering the 5th and the 3rd, or lowering 3rd, 5th, and 7th to get over there. And then finally we'll do the B chord. So if you need practice, just put this on, watch it a few times, say it out loud, pre-anticipate it, and pretty soon you'll have these memorized as a system.